Hi everyone. Our technological innovation might be one that is already familiar due to its increasing popularity: virtual reality, and more specifically, how it can be used in healthcare. My name is Cameron Fink, and my group members are Sophie Dianuntis and Kiara Davis. The idea for virtual reality began in the 1960s, and the first devices were created in the late 1980s. Virtual reality devices give you a real-time, 3D visual, multi-sensory experience, which can be extremely beneficial in the healthcare field for training and rehabilitation. All virtual reality systems rely on the same common features: immersion, the perception that you are in a real environment, and the ability to interact with that environment. There are a few different types of virtual reality systems depending on the level of immersion. Non-immersive systems are the most basic of the three and use images on a desktop computer to simulate the real world. Immersive systems use head-mounted displays to provide both audio and visual sensory output in order to completely immerse the individual in their surroundings. Finally, semi-immersive systems use an image on a desktop in addition to a perspective projection. Virtual reality is an innovative way to improve the healthcare field for both patients and providers. Patients can use virtual reality devices in addition to traditional rehabilitation methods to further enhance their experience. Providers can use these devices for training in order to avoid making critical mistakes on real-life patients. This computerized training can be logged so that supervisors can later review the training for accuracy, skill level, and the time it took to complete the given task. It is not suggested that virtual reality take over as the only method of training, but instead be an additional resource to use to facilitate learning.
Exposure therapy to combat PTSD presents some issues. So, an alternative method being used is the use of virtual reality, VR. It helps improve prolonged exposure because it creates situations that are safe, invented, and controllable for the ultimate goal of having the patient have increased emotional engagement and acceptance. VR has the potential to help a person with PTSD because VR and real-life objects are very similar and allow the individual to be immersed in a quote-unquote real world. The benefits of VR is the therapist can recreate events as many times as possible and virtually put someone in situations that would be expensive or hard to recreate, like being on an airplane. The main disadvantage is that each traumatic event would require a specific VR environment, and this involves a major economic investment. Future surgical residents will learn surgical anatomy and practice surgical procedures through the use of VR. How will this be done, you ask? Well, the surgical resident will wear a head-mount display and a data glove to see and control what is generated by the computer. These simulators are created through a powerful hardware and software. With this being considered, a tremendous amount of computer power is required. At this time, solutions are achieved by a trade-off. For example, if the image is very high quality, the motion is too slow, and there's no interaction. VR provides the first opportunity to combine 3D visual imagery with interactivity at a level that would allow realistic simulation of complex anatomy dissection or performance of surgical procedures. Other benefits of VR is that teaching surgical skills become easier, and there are fewer risks and fewer animals are needed for research.
Virtual reality technology has come a long way in healthcare. Scientists are still studying more ways in how we can use it in medicine. So far, virtual reality has been able to shorten recovery times, reduce medical costs, and it has been used in many therapeutic ways, as we've discussed. With all that being said, why isn't virtual reality booming in healthcare? According to Tom Furness, it's due to Medicare and Medicaid. There is a medical code for it, and it is not yet recognized as a form of treatment to many insurance companies. Technically, only rich people can afford it. Furness discusses that United Health has begun funding research into virtual reality. Until insurance companies can integrate this into their coverage, it is an elective service for many people.
Here are some additional questions that you can answer either individually or with your group. First, describe the drawbacks of virtual reality devices and generate solutions to help solve these problems. Second, justify why virtual reality is beneficial in medical training and argue if it is better or worse than using cadavers. Thank you for watching, and we are excited to see how virtual reality can change the future of medicine.